Today we are at the Crawford Hill Mansion.
Located at 150 East 10th Avenue and Sherman or Lincoln, depending on which way you look at it. But here we are. Beautiful view.
I mean, it's basically the whole block. Think of it that way.
Basically, kind of goes corner to corner, except for the little like drugstore area down there, and then I think there's apartments right behind it, which is really weird. So to tell you about the architect, his name is Theodore Boll. Boll was born June 14th, 1867 and died August 22nd, 1932. Actually, not 32, 38, my bad. I'm thinking of my great-grandpa's birthday. 32, I don't know why. He was born in Iowa City, Iowa. He was an Army veteran and an architect. He got his degree in Iowa State University in 1889 in architecture. What's crazy is that Bollesburg, Pennsylvania, if you know it, if you're from Pennsylvania, it was actually named for his ancestors. That's the crazy thing. He actually became a senior at Boll and Harnoy architectural firm in Denver, Colorado.
Louise Sneed was born in North Carolina in 1861. She moved to Memphis with her sister after her parents had passed away. And one year, she came out to Denver, Colorado because her cousins were throwing I want to say Met Gala, but I don't know if it's a Met Gala, but I'm just going to say a gala party for all of her guests, and she happened to be one. And one of the guests happened to be Crawford Hill. Hint, hint, her husband. Crawford Hill is the son of Nathaniel Peter Hill, founder of Colorado smelting industry, and his mother was the founder of the YWCA, which is the Young Women's Christian Association, which we're kind of assuming that's kind of how he got famous.
In a way.
But we're not too sure. It was a lot harder to find him than it was to find Louise.
It was harder to find information on how he made his money throughout his lifetime.
I mean, Louise, I'm pretty sure she's got it from her parents too, but...
She wasn't as poor as Molly Brown.
Louise grew up rich, but when she was at this party and they met, and they actually ended up falling in love and going back to Memphis and having the wedding of the year in Memphis in 1895. So just, is that 3 years?
3 years?
Just 3 years after they met at the party. They moved back to Colorado just a couple years later to build this beautiful home. Probably, I want to say in 1900.
1906 exactly.
They moved out here though. I don't know when they moved out.
They moved out here, but I think the house was built by Theodore in 1906.
Well, let me see this really quick. Okay, while they were actually married, they were living into an apartment in Memphis and had 2 kids, Nathaniel Peter Hill the fourth, and Crawford Jr. And fun little fact, Nathaniel Peter Hill the fourth married the Campbell Soup's daughter, Eleanor Dorrance.
Eleanor Dorrance is actually the son of Dr. John Dorrance, who is the daughter. I misgendered and triggered.
Louise mainly got popular actually from Molly Brown, our previous house that we just visited. She had a party for her, so say, when she got back from the Titanic in 1914 at this very house for Molly Brown. In 1914, just around the time of the party when she was with Molly Brown, she met a handsome gentleman named Buckley Wells, and actually things between them hit off really well, and sad enough to say Crawford did know and he did deal with it, which I would have been very upset if my wife of like 25 years just met this like random guy and was like, I like him, let's have a love affair.
He didn't even care anyway. He died in 1922.
Yeah, he died in 1922, so about 6 years later.
So yeah, it happened for 6 years. I'm not sure how they dealt with it though.
Louise lives in her beautiful home until 1942, and from the Depression and the start of World War II, it's been too hard for her to maintain the house, nearly impossible. She's getting a little bit older, so she abandoned it to move into the Brown Palace Hotel that's located on 17th Street, just a few blocks down. She lived in that hotel until 1955, which was the year she passed away, so she basically lived there for the rest of her life.
She cannot maintain the home due to like wartime help shortages. So I believe
it was just the end of the Depression too, so,
yeah, so
a lot of lost money.
End of the Depression, beginning of the war.
Yes.
So she wanted to help out. I think I don't know if it's nursing or something she did. So every spring to mark the beginning of Denver's social season, she would have this statue. I don't know if it's in her front or backyard, but we're looking at the backyard right now. And every kind of beginning of the spring, she would unveil it. She would pull off some kind of cloth
with her garden as well.
Yeah, with her garden as well. And it would like show off this nude figure of a lady holding a like bouquet of flowers, and it's Easter lilies. Those were her favorite.
It was put up for lease in 1947, just 5 years after she moved out to live in the Brown Palace.
That's the house.
Yes.
The statue, however, was, I don't know what year it was, probably when the house was...
I thought you were talking about the house.
No, I was talking about the statue because it's no longer here. It was auctioned off, so it's gone, unfortunately. 3 years after the completion of the mansion in 1906, in 1909, they actually added, I don't know if it was the same architect or a different architect, but they actually added a southern area in the back of the house for their guest, President William Howard Taft. So it's, I guess, rumored to be, because I don't think it is there anymore, but there's a wooden lamp that's reputed to come from Thomas Jefferson's old home, hanging somewhere near the front door, but we didn't see one. I didn't see one. I only saw the metallic ones that they have. So interesting where it went. So it was in 1947 when they put it up for sale that the Denver Town Club purchased it. And they used it for their purposes, which was anything other than housing, basically. They used it for...
parties, marriages, photo shoots, just little things like that.
Yeah, gatherings and stuff like that. They also changed up a lot in the building throughout the years. They were a family organization, a social alliance, something you would call them like that, kind of. In 1953, there used to be a beautiful garden by Mrs. Crawford Hill, and it was actually torn down for a swimming pool. So the swimming pool is back there and it's covered. However, in 1989, the Denver Town Club had to place it on the market due to its dwindling memberships with the town club, unfortunately.
But fastly, in 1990, a group of attorneys bought the house, which is still what it is today.
Early in the next year. And the group is, well, titled for short HRC the Second for some reason. It's a group of attorneys, and they have way too many names in them to even name them all.
There's like 10 of them.
They then had another architect, Peter Dominic and Filet Dominic. Don't know how to say it.
Filet. Fish fillet.
Fish fillet.
McDicks.
Only $3.99. Both of those brothers actually worked on reconstructing it a little bit and then also redesigning the interiors. So no longer does it have ivory and gold and gray within like the walls and bedrooms or furniture even. There was gold furniture, which was pretty cool. I was like, oh my god, that's like goals right there. I also probably try to look up Google Images for some Crawford Hill photos, and you know Getty Images, they've been around, so they'll probably show you themselves.
Also, another little fact, with her love affair with Buckley Wells, they actually stayed into a hotel called, I want to say it's called Love Affair with the Heart. So they stayed in the Affairs of the Heart in Suite 904, and apparently it's haunted by Louise because since she stayed there with her, you know, little boy toy, they were reconstructing her floor, her room specifically. Nothing left in there, no couches, no chairs, no bed, no fridge, no anything, no walls. There was even no phone, but the people that were in the office got calls from that suite. And they just said it was just a fuzzy background noise, like they didn't know. So maybe while it was under reconstruction, she was mad at that, and she just didn't want that to be ruined.
That's crazy.
So spooky, we should find it.
We should find it. Okay guys, we are here in the Denver Public Library and we will be looking at undigitized photo versions of her family and everything Louise and Crawford. His hair is so funny. These were, oh look, that's the mansion that we just were at too.
There's Louise right here.
Perfect. Is that her?
I think so.
Maybe? So that may be Louise.
It's Miss Louise.
Wow.
She's pretty.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And then here they all are. I don't know which one Mr. Crawford is, but he's one of the
Crawford's right
two.
here. Oh, so then he's gonna be
Well,
this.
which one is he? Is he not this?
He's gonna be the one on the right.
I don't think he's any of them.
It's fine.
The glare
I'll
isn't
get this
bothering.
off. Oh, it's there. So he isn't either one of these guys. Then.
And then this is the Mr. and Mrs. of the mansion. Mr. and Mrs. of the mansion that we saw. Wow.
That's Miss Hill. I think.
Damn, glamour shot.
This kid is Axel or is it Alex, Kyle? I can't read the name. But one of the kids on the horseback.
The kids aren't named Alex and Kyle.
What what's their names?
Nathaniel and Crawford Jr.
Crawford Jr.
That's weird. It doesn't say that on there. On the back. I don't, that's part of the family.
A cousin or brother or something.
Yes, the last name.
This is the wedding reception, or is this just them at dinner in their house?
Probably just dinner at the house.
Mm.
Yeah, dinner for Hamilton. Fish.
Hamilton Fish.
35.
Did they only have 2 kids?
Mm-hmm.
Because whose name is that?